Hello everybody, my name is Janet Moka and I'm going to show you how to build any shapes you want to in Adobe After Effects using shape layers and null objects. As you can see, this is a D20, otherwise known as icosahedron. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. And first I'm going to build a tetrahedron, a perfect tetrahedron, and then I will show how to build a cube. So tetrahedron, perfect triangles, folded, and it has 4 sides. I have title action save turned on. I'm pressing Ctrl Shift and I'm making a big triangle. And I come into polystar path, change it to 3 points, and then I could change the anchor point, but I don't need it because snapping is turned on. Also, as you can see, if you are still in the polystar path, you can't really change the anchor point, you have to come out. So snapping is turned on. I need 4 of these triangles. So I'm going to copy it and move it to the side. And then I'm going to rotate it 180. Snapping is turned on, as I said. If you are coming close to an edge, you can see it's selected and it can snap to where you need it to. I need 2 more triangles and I'm going to move it here. It has the correct angle now, so I just need to snap it to the correct place. And I need another copy and snap it again to the correct place. This is the net image of a tetrahedron. And with this, this is the base. I will use the middle one, the center one, as a base for now. And I will show you what happens if you have more sides to a shape, how you do it. I'm going to fold using null objects. I will need 4 of them. It's easier to assign a null object to every side of the shape you are creating, even if you are not using all of them for folding. And move over. And each shape now has a null object assigned to it. I'm going to leave the base, and before I actually lock it, I'm turning everything into 3D layers. Now I can lock the shape layer and the corresponding null object, and I like to go around, so I'm going to use the corresponding null object, come over, and as you can see, it can snap to the edge, which is great. And I'm going to use the orientation, like using the handle to sort of find the angle. Then I'm pressing R and rounding it up. It's always going to be a multiplication of 30 degrees. That's kind of the only math that you need for this. And now that I have that, I can parent the shape layer to the null object. If you come, like now it can fold. It will fold on the y-axis, as you can see. So now we have the folding edge. And how to find the angle that you need. So I have Wikipedia tetrahedron on, and if you look at it and scroll down, you will see a dihedral angle which says 70.52. I'm going to round it up to 53 for our purposes. It doesn't really matter. And it's either this angle or you have to subtract it from 180 degrees. So let's check which is it. I'm going to try and rotate and see which is closer to. This is sort of the top view, if you say, and it's 109. If you subtract 70.53 from 180, you will get 109.47. I have the calculator on in the second window. And I also want it to fold behind, so I'm going to use a minus indicator. If I click on the shape, you can see where it is right now. And now I'm just going around and folding each of them. Sort of rotate it into position and then change the orientation. And then it's green again, so it's the Y rotation. Be sure to parent the shape layer after you move the null object into position, and then you can fold it. The plus is above, so we need the minus again. Minus 109.47. Did I press minus? No. Press it. Enter. It's now in place. And the last one will be folding below. And here we go. Let's parent it. It's the easiest because the edge is horizontal and the null object is also horizontal. And this time it's red, so it's the X rotation, and folding behind is the plus direction, so it's plus 109.47. And now if I come out of all of the null objects, I can now unlock the base and parent the null objects and the base shape layer to the null object of the base shape layer. And now if I grab on to the axis, I can rotate it, and as you can see, it's a perfect tetrahedron. One thing that you can't do here is change the stroke of the shape. It will be super weird. I like to keep it at 1 just to have an edge. It doesn't matter. As you can see, it's just a hairline, and you can see it here too. It's just the hairline of an edge, just to make it more clear. If you want anything on the faces of the shape, you have to put it on before you start folding. It will be exponentially harder to do it once you started folding it. So this is a perfect tetrahedron. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to create a new composition and call it D6. I like to call it by the dice name because I'm a TRPG player and I'm needing these shapes in order to create dice, rolling dice, as you could see with the D20. And so I'm going to make a D6. It doesn't really matter what you can see here. Title action save turned on, snapping is on. I'm going to need rectangles, so I'm swapping to the rectangle tool, and I'm building the net. Size doesn't really matter, and the anchor point is in the correct place for us. So the net of a cube is shaped like a cross. So, and it has 6 sides. So Control D, move it to place. Control D, move it to place. Control D. And actually I will select both of these and move them together. As you can see, we have 6 sides to the cube, and again I need the null objects, so I'm going to create the null objects, 6 of them. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and move a null object over a shape, 1 each. And I just need to check the, okay, I need to swap these two because this is the last one on the side. And now I grab every one of them and turn them into 3D layers like before. This will be easier because cube has the easiest angles. And I'm going to find the base. This is the base, and I'm locking it to not hurt it. So again, with a cube, it's infinitely easier. You can already parent it. Everything is in place. It's the Y axis, so press R, see which way we want to rotate it. I want to rotate it that way, so it's minus. I'm undoing it, and it's Y, and it's minus, so minus 90 degrees. And then this is where the fun comes in, because now I have to fold these two sides, right? So second null object, moving it to place. I keep grabbing onto something weird. It tried to find this edge, which is funny. So it's in place, and I'm going to parent the shape layer it's correspondent to and the null object that has a folding edge connected to it. So these two will be parented to the null object that I'm about to fold. It's the y-axis. Let's see which way I need to rotate them. But like you can see, they are rotating together now because they are parented correctly. And I need it in the minus direction. It's also 90 degrees. Like I said, easiest angles of all the shapes. And now let's see which is this. It's the one below. Let's move it to the edge. Parent it, put, and rotate. This is the x axis, and the x rotation is plus, in this case 90 degrees. Then see what's okay. The next one is the one above. we can parent them. And also we need to change the orientation, so we need to remove parenting before we do it. Multiplication of 30 degrees, like we said so already. Because we already have some stuff in 3D space, it will try to snap to it, don't worry. You will find the edge that you want. And now you can parent the shape layer to the null object, and it's green, so it's the Y rotation again, and it's negative again, negative 90 degrees. And we are at the last step of folding. I'm going to rotate it beforehand 90 degrees and move it after that, so it's easier to find the snapping point. Again, it only has to snap to the edge of the shape. And now I can parent the shape layer to it, and I can rotate it. It's red, so it's the X rotation, and instead of minus, it's a plus, so it's plus 90, and we have the cube. And to show that we have it, we have to parent the base and all the null objects that aren't parented. This is crucial. The more sides you have, the more null objects you will have at the end that are already parented. In this case, it has 4 sides, so you need 4 null objects to be connected, including the base shape layer to the null object of the base. So parent it, and then if you rotate the base null object, you can see that here we have our perfect cube. You can build rectangles and whatever you want, and also you can move it in the 3D space, and you can, like, basically this is how it works. Like, you can make boxes now, and you can basically, using this method and logic, you can build a lot of shapes, and then you can animate them however you like it. Once you get to a good number of sides, you will want to use the shy switch, and while you are folding, it will get so complex that you will want to use the solo hides all non-solo point, and just click on the sides that you haven't folded, because that will make your life easier. And again, if you want anything on the sides of the shape, you need to put it before you start folding. So thank you for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope that you learned something new and some like a fun way to create 3D shapes in Adobe After Effects if you don't have the 3D plugins installed. So thank you, and see you later.